Good evening, and welcome to another Think About It Thursday. My name is Henry Dotson, and this is a time when every week, we stop to think about it, things that we've talked about during the week. So this is the first Thursday in July. So this is the first time that we are meeting this month. And before I get going, I'd like to just give a quick shout out to Nico and Tracy. I saw that they were responding to the post about this live, so just saying hi. And this starts a whole new series that we're going to be talking about from now actually till the end of the year. Um, we started off this series talking about back in April, and we were really focusing in on this event that we had at City Club in Los Angeles. And we started talking there. That's when we initiated this. And each month we've had a theme. And we started out because we were doing a celebration of three C's celebration or victory over cancer, COVID, and crises. And so the April, May, um, March, April, and May, actually, we spent the time just talking about things that led up to getting over crises. And in June, we ended up in June talking about the new normal that you were going to experience now that you've gone through a crisis, and that there was a call on your life. So we've kind of gone through that. And now we want to turn our focus away from just having gotten through a crisis and now just sort of looking forward and what does that mean? And it does have some significance about if you've just been through a crisis, but it's really more about this is the time when you have a different outlook on life. And maybe those of you didn't have to go through a crisis to have a different outlook on life, but you're starting to wonder. You're wondering about what your life's purpose is going to be. And again, for those who've gone through a crisis, you know that you look at things differently. And so when you survive, you really ask yourself sometimes, why am I here? And it's not really a survivor's remorse kind of thing. It's more that you're more acutely aware that you're here for a purpose. And you start wondering about, well, why am I here? What is my life purpose? And so that's where we're sort of starting from now. We're going to be looking at life purpose. And I think that's important now for people who are trying to figure out how to move from success to significance. And we talked a little bit about that, where success has to do more with yourself, the things that you want to accomplish for yourself and maybe for your family, your immediate environment. But now, when you've done that, when you've reached that level of success, those things that you aspired for and you finally got, now we're not saying you got them all, but those things that you aspired for, you got them, and it left you feeling a little empty. It's like, well, is that all there is? And so when you reach that point in your life, that's because you realize that success isn't the end all be all, that it's really, you want to make a difference in people's lives. And so that's how you move from success to significance. And in doing so, that's part of fulfilling your life purpose. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start in having a few little conversations about what is life purpose, how do you figure out what it is, and so on and so on. And so that's what we're here about today. We're going to start that off. We're kicking it off in July. We'll be going through this at least through the remainder of the year. We may take little side bunny trails every now and again, but that's sort of where we're going to be. So the Think About It Thursday today is think about how your life plans align with your life purpose. Are they aligned with God's will and purpose for your life? So this is a question that I want you to ponder between now and next Thursday. Think about it. And we started off this week with a conversation about a mindset on Mindset Monday. We actually talked about getting our minds focused around life purpose. And so I think that before you can get too far into that mindset, you have to really understand what we mean when we say life purpose, because I'm sure you can find many definitions of it. There's no one standard stock life purpose definition. But for the sake of our conversations, we have to arrive at something to work from. So on Mindset Monday, we posted this thing, and this is sort of our foundation for what life purpose is. So it says that life purpose is the energy of passion. So passion is an energy. It's passion creates energy. So it's that energy of passion that is channeled through experience and design, your experience and your design, in the service of a greater calling. So that's what we mean when we say a life purpose. So you can think that there are four parts to it. There's the passion, there is the experience, there is your design, and then there's your calling. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about life purpose. And so we're going to be looking at what it means and how do you get there, and so on, for the remainder of the year. Now, there's also a little twist we want to add to it, or a little refinement. I shouldn't say a twist, but a little refinement, because this definition of life purpose is general. It's broad. It applies to any and everyone. So any and everyone on planet Earth, there are many people who believe that they have a purpose, or they're looking for their purpose in life. And I believe that if you use this definition, it will apply. It will apply to everyone. But the group that we are here, as you can see in our little logo at the upper right corner of this, is we are our journeys of faith. And what that means is that we live this life's journey according to our faith. And our faith happens to be that we are Christians. So we believe in God. So when you talk about life purpose, you have to put it into context of what does that mean if you're a Christian. So on Tuesday, we kind of refined it a little bit. And what we said there, it's just tweaked it a little bit. We said a Christian's life purpose is the energy of passion channeled through experience and design. But instead of just in a calling, we have in allegiance to a God-given calling. So that makes it a little different. That makes it more specific to what you are if you're a Christian, because the original one just said to a in service of a greater calling. And so a greater calling means something bigger than yourself. So you're looking to do something that is going to benefit others as opposed to benefiting self. So that's why it still applies. But the question is what is that greater calling? And for Christians, that greater calling is allegiance to a God-given calling. So what we're saying here is that the life purpose that you have if you're a Christian is aligned with God's calling on your life. And if you recall from June, when we talked about being called into the new normal, we said that calling was coming from God. So you can kind of see how this ties in there, that the calling that you feel as a result of having gone through a life crisis has been elevated and promoted because God has called you to that because of your experience. So you can kind of see where that experience part comes into it, is that it's your experience, your life experience, that is being used, and it's being used as part of your calling. And again, if you're a Christian, it's your God-given calling. So to kind of tie that back into, well, what does that mean biblically? We went to Wednesday and we had a scripture on Wednesday about that. And so our Wednesday wisdom scripture was Proverbs 19 and 21, verse 21. And it says that many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. So what that means is we make plans. We are made in the image of God. So part of that reflection of who he is that we have the ability to make plans. God makes plans. There are other scriptures where, particularly in Jeremiah 29:11, I believe it says that, for I know the plans I have for you. So God makes plans. And because we are in his image, we too make plans. But the question is, are our plans aligned with God's plan? And so what the scripture from Proverbs is saying is, you may make plans in your mind, but in the end, it's the purpose that God has that will stand. So his purpose for your life is what's ultimately going to stand. And he does have a purpose for your life. And the question is are your plans, is your will aligned with his will so that he can fulfill your life's purpose according to his plan that he wants for you, which is greater or better than anything you could possibly imagine? Or are you going to stick to your own plan as to what you think your life's plan is that may not be totally aligned with God? And it doesn't mean that you won't accomplish things. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that if you follow those types of plans, you just won't be totally satisfied. You'll make some, if you do things that are for a greater calling outside of yourself, then yes, you are going to move into some level of significance. But what God really has for you, you may not achieve because you're not quite aligned with what God's plan is. And we want the best, and that's what God has for us. So that's what the scripture is trying to remind us of, is that when we are aligned with God's will and that we are in allegiance with what his calling is for us, again, back to that definition of what a life calling is, life purpose is for the Christian, is that when we are in allegiance to a God-given calling, then we will truly achieve our life's purpose that he has for us. So that's what we want to focus on today. And as I said, so this week, between now and the next time we meet, I want you to focus on and think about how your life plans align with your life purpose. And some of we're all going to be starting at different points. Sometimes the plans that you have don't have anything to do with your purpose. Sometimes your plans are merely focused on the here and now and the immediacy of the things that you have to take care of. And you really aren't taking the time to look up and see how your plans align with your life purpose. So some still need to take some time to stop what they're doing and make sure that along the way, you're doing things that are moving you towards your life's purpose. But others who are already there and they realize that the level of success that they've achieved or the things that they've tried to accomplish, that once they've been done, that they know that there's something more for them. And so you'll be starting in a little bit different place, a little bit further down the track. But in either case, we want you to start thinking about what the plans that you have in your life, are they aligned with your life's purpose? And think about, are they aligned with God's will and purpose for your life? So with that, I'm going to leave you, and hopefully you'll get the time to think about this. And until we meet again on our another Think About It Thursday, God bless you and take care, and we'll see you then. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.